coverage you can count on. First Edition starts now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for News 13 First Edition. I'm Annette Pegler. Governor Henry McMaster is set to announce an appointment to fill the vacancy in the Senate created by the death of the late Lindsey Graham any moment now. Here's a live look at the governor's office. We'll check back in here once the governor takes the stage. Well, first, let's go ahead and take a first look at your forecast. Chief Meteorologist Frank Johnson joins us at the Key Wall. Frank, it's been a pretty cloudy day. Are we expecting to see any rain?
Yeah, we will see rain across the area this evening. Already on Viper 13 real-time radar, we have showers and thunderstorms that continue to develop. Some of these on the strong side, especially toward the Midlands, but we've got some slow-moving soakers across parts of Horry County. These really not moving very much, so the areas that are going to see rain will see a lot of rain. So there is the potential for some heavy rain, maybe even a little bit of minor flooding. A lot of moisture all across the southeast. That means those showers are going to continue as we head through the evening hours and overnight. And temperatures in the 80s, not nearly as hot as we were last week. Our forecast for tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, scattered showers and thunderstorms, 70s for our lows, and that rain chance back again tomorrow. I'll have a look at how long this wet weather will last coming up.
All right, Frank, thank you. Well, Congress returns to Washington today, grieving the loss of longtime Senator Lindsey Graham. Preliminary results found he died of an aortic dissection Saturday night. Tributes are expected across Washington today, from flowers outside of his home to remembrance from other senators. News Nation Washington correspondent Gabrielle Caracciolo has more from Capitol Hill.
It's a huge, huge loss.
As lawmakers return to Capitol Hill, flowers sit outside Senator Lindsey Graham's Washington home and office, and flags are flying at half-staff in his honor.
We're certainly going to miss Lindsey. He was truly a friend and a great statesman for the country, frankly.
The longtime South Carolina lawmaker died suddenly Saturday night. The medical examiner says it was an aortic dissection due to prior heart disease.
Let us pray.
On the Senate floor, a prayer followed by speeches from top lawmakers.
It's difficult to believe that Lindsey Graham is no longer here with us, that we won't run into him at a media day or share a joke with him at this afternoon's vote. The halls of the Senate already feel empty without him. And I know I'm not alone in that feeling.
First elected to the House, Graham had a leading role in President Bill Clinton's impeachment. A former military lawyer, he was known for his hawkish foreign policy opinions. He just returned from a trip to Ukraine, where he announced a deal on a bipartisan Russia sanctions bill.
I've never been more optimistic than I am today that we have the formula to end this war.
And that was Gabrielle Caracciolo reporting. We're looking into how Senator Graham's death impacts the political landscape in the U.S. Coastal Carolina University political science professor Michael Norris says Senator Graham's death is a blow for South Carolina, as Graham has amassed a large amount of experience and influence, which was extremely beneficial to the state. Norris says that he worries without Graham, the state will lose a lot of the federal funding that Graham fought to bring back.
Graham was a true power broker in the Senate. Not just a power broker in our national politics, but a power broker for South Carolina. And we're not going to have that anymore on either front. It's about staking, planting your flag and being like, this is who I am, this is where I stand. And he did that very well. Obviously, he made a lot of people, a lot of Democrats mad, a lot of Republicans mad. But that's how he played ball.
And News 13's Morgan Baker will have much more on what Professor Norris said about the impact of Graham's death on the U.S. Senate coming up on your news at 5. Well, to local news now, members of Horry County's Planning and Zoning Department are working to create an industrial corridor map. The purpose, the corridor would serve as an overlay on a map identifying areas where land could potentially be rezoned for industrial use in the near future. News 13's Cameron Townsend spoke with a senior planner today about what this means for Horry County residents.
A new draft of industrial corridors comes as a part of the county's Imagine 2040 plan, which will help guide the future of industrial development in Horry County. The proposed map that you see on your screen highlights the areas that could be considered for industrial zoning in the future. County officials say the goal is to direct industrial growth to appropriate locations and separate industrial and residential land. Horry County is hosting a public input meeting this Thursday at the Horry County Government and Justice Center, giving the community the chance to review the draft and to voice their opinions.
Ultimately, the Imagine 2040 Comprehensive Plan and its future land use is their future. We want to
Okay, right now we want to go live to that press conference where Governor Henry McMaster is announcing his appointment. Let's take a look.
One of South Carolina's greatest sons. Here we also gather together to celebrate what this self-described poor boy from a small town, rural town in South Carolina accomplished through grit, determination, and character for his state, for his country, and for his world. Lindsey Graham recognized the greatness of America and her obligations to a dangerous world. Lindsey Graham recognized the seriousness of his work, but also the value of humor and a light-hearted spirit. Lindsey Graham understood the hopes, dreams, and needs of his state and delivered for his state every time. Presidents, paupers, famous or forgotten, he treated us all the same. We have seen him attack evil and injustice and embrace friendship and the common good with equal fervor and strength. Yes, we are going to miss Lindsey, but we will always remember his quickness, his laugh, and what he has done for us and the world. As he described himself, this poor boy from a little town in South Carolina. Today, under the law, it's my duty and honor to name someone to serve in the place of this irresistible man, this irreplaceable man, this extraordinary man for the remainder of his term. Lindsey took care of his little sister in years long departed. It's my honor to ask his little sister, Darlene Graham, to finish his work for him now. And by the way, Darlene, I don't know if I told you, but after we spoke on the phone in the wee hours of Sunday morning, and you agreed to serve through tears, earlier, I had wondered what you would say, and I was humbled by your quickness to see the duty that you had to serve. And I called the president afterwards, and he thought it was a great idea. And I'm sure that everyone here does as well. Darlene, little sister, come forward, please.
Thank you, Governor, and just bear with me as I try to get through this. But first, I just want to say one thing I've never heard Lindsey described as is irresistible. So, okay, we'll just start with that. But first, I would like to thank everyone who has called and reached out over the past couple of days. I can't tell you how much it's meant to me and our family. I know Lindsey was loved and respected by many, and I greatly appreciate the memories and even the funny stories that have been shared. These shared experiences, along with our faith, have gotten us through these past 2 very difficult days. Next, I want to thank the governor for selecting me to serve the remainder of Lindsey's term. It is such an honor. Lindsey has always been there for me, and now I will be there for him. My brother was the most amazing person, outstanding leader, and just a genuinely good man. He was kind and considerate and loved by his family dearly. As I think everyone would agree, Lindsey worked harder than anyone. He worked nonstop to make our state, country, and world better. He loved his family and loved serving this state and our country. He dedicated his life to our country. It is such a privilege to get to finish some of his important work, and I promise to work hard over the next several months to support the President and carry forward the efforts of my brother on behalf of the citizens of South Carolina and the United States. I know Lindsey thought the world of his staff and colleagues, and with their support, I feel confident. I think this is what Lindsey would have wanted, and I plan to honor him in this way. Now to Lindsey, I miss you more than I can even put into words, but I'm going to do this. I got it. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes this ceremony. Thank you.
And as you just heard, Governor McMaster announcing Lindsey Graham's sister, Darlene Graham Nardone, as the Senate appointee. We will have much more on this, but just a little bit about Nardone. She and Lindsey Graham, very, very close. They lost their parents both when Lindsey Senator Graham was just the age of 20. So they are very close. We're very close growing up. And also Nardone, her background, she's a vocational rehabilitation person in that role. So she does have experience working with families. So we do want to recap that Senator Lindsey Graham's sister has been appointed as the Senate appointee. We'll have much more on this story coming up on your news today at 5. Well, 3 people face 5 counts of attempted murder charges after a shooting in the PD. Florence police arrested Nasir Timmons, Dion Tavis Williams, and Dakarius Claiborne in connection with the shooting on Maxwell Street Friday. Police say during that shooting, a home was hit about 17 times by gunfire. 5 people were inside of that home at the time, including 2 kids. No one was hurt. One update now on a shooting that took place last night in the Lake City area. Tahani Elizabeth Daniels is now facing charges that include attempted murder. According to investigators, Daniels allegedly shot her husband while 4 minor children were present. Daniels' husband was hospitalized where he was treated for what's believed to be non-life-threatening injuries. Several lanes of traffic were blocked in Horry County this morning after a crash involving a pedestrian. That crash happened just before 3:45 this morning in the area of Highway 707 and Circle Lane. Critical injuries were also reported. The South Carolina Highway Patrol is investigating the crash.
News 13 on-time traffic, sponsored by Joy Law Firm. Just call Joy.
And traffic not too bad right now on 501 between CCU and Carolina Forest. Just the occasional slowdown at the traffic lights. No problems right now on 544. Drive times along the Grand Strand on 501 from Carolina Forest to CCU. That'll take 13 minutes. 17 in both directions along the Grand Strand. That's moving a little bit slower than normal. Florence area looking okay. No problems in town right now. No problems on I-95. Currently on 95 from TV Road to 76. That'll take 9 minutes. Palmetto from 5 Points to Irby Street will take 5 minutes. And 52 from Palmetto to I-95 will take 7 minutes.
Frank, thank you. One person is dead after a box truck crash on Interstate 95 in Dillon County. The South Carolina Highway Patrol says the crash happened around 6:15 Sunday morning near the 192-mile marker on the I-95 southbound. Troopers say a 2021 International box truck traveled off the left side of the roadway and overturned. The driver, who was the truck's only occupant, died at that scene. Investigations are ongoing. A 17-year-old in Florence County is dead after a weekend shooting. Florence County deputies say that shooting happened just before midnight Saturday in the area of the Glenville subdivision and Battery Park off of McCurdy Road. The Florence County Coroner's Office says 17-year-old Zylan Dixon of Lake City died in the shooting. 3 other victims are expected to be okay. Anyone with information is asked to call the Florence County Sheriff's Office.
And some more rain across the area today. Slow-moving, soaking thunderstorms bringing some heavy rain to parts of the area. I'll have a look at how long this rain chance is going to last coming up.